Hello, this is SQL in Simple Words by Mr. Gochukwuonsu, aka Ugo The Analyst. You can get me on dataanalyst.com.ng. This video is just a video trying to explain SQL, likewise known as SQL, in just simple words. So we'll be looking at various things. We'll start by explaining what is SQL. That's what is structured query language. Now, let's look at it this way. A database, like the previous video we had or the previous class we had, we looked at various types of databases. And you now ask yourself, how do you communicate with this database? How do you fetch data? How do you try to get information from the database to make sense? Now, the language that all databases understand is known as the structured query language. Now, it's a standardized programming language that is used to manage relational databases and perform various operations on them variously. And initially, it was created in the 1970s. But in the 1970s, while SQL was created, there were various versions that was not in place. The original SQL version is known as the transit version of the SQL. We'll look at that in another class. But we are just trying to explain what SQL is. SQL is regularly used not only by database administrators, but also by developers writing data integration scripts and data analysts looking to set up and run analytical queries. And that is why for you to become a data analyst or a data scientist, SQL must be one of your tools that you are ready to use at any time because you are trying to sort data from a large volume of data in a database. Now, like I said, SQL is pronounced as SQL or SQL. SQL or SQL. Now, we have various uses of SQL. The first is modifying database table and index structures. You just use it because the database table is not like a physical table where you need a plan. No, you need to write queries that can plan the structure, the volume size, the text, the data type, and so on you want in that database. Now, that is modifying database table and index structure. Another use of SQL is adding, updating, and deleting rows of data. For example, you made a mistake in a particular data you entered into a database table. Of course, SQL can allow you to do what? Delete that data. You can also add a new data. For example, the National Population Commission have been trying to build a database where all Nigerians can be placed into the database, but it has not been making sense because the death row is not well recorded, and we still have children that don't have birth certificates, and that has been a problem. Updating is not really a problem because we all have what we call BVN, NIN to identify us for now. Updating is not really a problem, but in our side of the country, Nigeria, we are kind of, let me not say dubious, but we love to make money from every ill odd. Now, updating your information, maybe someone that was once not married and got married and wants to change his name in the database becomes a problem. But that's not what we are looking at. We're just trying to say that is the use of SQL. You wonder how they do that. The software already it has been attached to some SQL codes to allow them do that. Now, another use of SQL is retrieving subsets of information from within the relational database management system, RDBMS. We mentioned the types of relational database management system. We looked at SQL Server, SQL Server, Microsoft SQL Server. We have MySQL, like the videos I've been showing you online on my YouTube channel, where actually from MySQL, I used MySQL as my relational database management system. Now, retrieving subset information from relational database system. Now, this information can be used for transaction processing, analytical applications, and other applications that require communicating with a relational database. SQL queries and other operations take the form of commands written as statements and aggregated into programs that enable users to add, modify, retrieve from the database table. Likewise, a table will be mentioning a table. Now, what's the table? A table is the most basic unit of a database and it consists of rows and columns. Now, I don't want you to look at Excel as a table because Excel is a spreadsheet, can only have text values in it. But in a database table, you can have images, sounds, and various type of data in it. A single table can hold record, and each record is stored in a row of the table. Tables are the most used type of database objects or structures that hold or reference data in a relational database. Like the query I taught the last time, where we have a primary key and a foreign key. Now, with the primary key, you can relate to the foreign key of another table, but you have to just go back and watch that video so that you can get more information about that. Other types of database objects include the following: the views, the indexes, and the reports. These are things you can use. They are database objects, things you can derive from your database. The views are the logical representation of data assembled from one or more database tables, while the indexes are the lookup tables that help speed up data lookup functions. I will just quickly talk about Google. So many people use Google search engine, but if they have the SQL idea, they find it very easy to search information because at the back end of the Google search engine, everything work in a plus sign. It takes all the words you write and put them in the plus sign. There's this hierarchy of generation it does before it can bring out pages which can rank from 1 to page 10. But that's not what we are looking at now. I'm just talking about the indexes. Then we like to talk about the reports. Reports consist of data retrieved from one or more tables, usually a subset that the data is selected based on a search criteria. Like I said, the report comes out and you see it in forms of pages. So why is SQL important? Why is it important? SQL is a great language to learn because the primary basic database language used for data processing tasks is SQL. The following reasons are also the importance of SQL. Now, the backbone of data integrity or data industry. That's SQL forms the backbone of data industry, and SQL is a universal language. That's one of the uses. Every SQL version, every database, even other programming language like Python and Java, you can incorporate or collaborate SQL into it. And it's an in-demand skill. I tell my students, like I'm telling you right now, that if you want to become a programmer, the first language you should learn is SQL because you're a programmer. What are you trying to source information from a database, and you just need an SQL to do that. Now, it's another use of SQL is for data manipulation. You can manipulate data, you can filter, sort, or get some aggregates from the data. Now, rapid query processing. You wonder what happens at the back end of your Google search engine. That's SQL working there. All right, security features. That is what I want to talk. In this part of the world where we have various cyber crimes, we know them in Nigeria as Yahoo Yahoo and several names elsewhere, or 419 as the case may be. But if you are a good SQL language programmer or whatever, you can write some little codes in Notepad and attach to your program system files to send back a virus to the sender. That's a story for another day. You can use it coupled with Python, or you can do it with Java and add some SQL query to return back those same things to the sender. That's security features. Then commonality and compatibility. SQL is SQL. Whether you are using in Oracle, whether you're using it in Access, SQL is SQL. Scalability. SQL is suitable for organizations of any size. Can have a growing organization, can have organization as big as a bank, and can have a global organization, all being scalable by SQL. That is an open source and a community of support. Just like what I'm doing right now, I give I help people source codes in SQL. You can just Google someone and the person will try to give you codes on SQL. I do that a lot with my clients and my students. It also contributes to ease of application and improve the productivity and efficiency of businesses. Another reason is cost effectiveness and so on. Now, our next topic will be on major SQL sub languages. I want you to just stay tuned until we meet the next time, but I will just quickly read them down. This is a data definition language, data manipulation language, data control language, data query language, and transaction control language. We will meet in the next class. Remember to like, subscribe, and share my page. Please, just to encourage me to do more. My name still remains Gochukwu Nwosu, aka Ugo The Analyst. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you, and God bless.